reaches of the northern world, beyond the last forests, beyond the frozen rivers, there lies a land where winter never truly ends, a land softened by drifting snow and shaped by quiet winds. Tonight, I'd like to take you there, not for adventure, not for danger, but simply to rest beside a people who learn to live with the cold the way others live with light. They are known as the Snow People. Imagine yourself arriving there slowly, as if carried by a gentle breath of icy air. There is no hurry, no noise, nothing sharp or sudden, only the slow crumble of snow beneath your steps, and the soft hush of wind brushing across endless white fields. The Snow People have lived here for thousands of years, and yet they leave almost no mark on the land. Their homes, round, smooth and pale, rise gently from the snow like sleeping animals resting beneath the sky. Their paths disappear overnight, covered by drifting flakes, and the sound of their voices blends naturally with the wind, as if the land itself whispers along with them. For the Snow People, winter is not something to fight against. It is a companion, quiet, vast, and powerful. They speak of it with respect, the way someone might speak of an ancient friend who watches over them. Silently. Inside their snowy homes, warmth glows softly, not bright, not harsh, just enough to make the air shimmer gently, just enough to let tired bodies settle and soften. Fur blankets rustle, fires crackle in low whispers, and the whole world outside feels distant, as if time itself slows down to listen. Food is never taken for granted here. Every meal is a promise they keep to one another. Every shared bite is a reminder that survival is not an individual act, but a bond strengthened by cold nights and long journeys. They gather together when storms rise. They split their catch equally, and they honor the animals that sustain them. This quiet gratitude is woven into everything they do. Tonight, the Snow People are preparing for rest. The sky above them glows with soft blue light, the kind that appears just before the long Arctic night settles. You can hear distant ice shifting, a slow, deep sound, almost like a giant turning in its sleep. But inside the village, all is peaceful, a gentle rhythm, a steady breath, a community sinking slowly into the calm of the evening. You are welcome among them. You are safe here. The cold does not bite. It simply holds you gently, like a blanket woven from silence. Settle in now. Feel the quiet, and let the night of the Snow People begin to wrap around you. As night settles over the world of the Snow People, the sky begins to shift into deeper shades of blue, a gentle gradient spreading across the horizon like ink dropped into still water. The Snow People know this moment well. It is the hour when the land grows quiet, when even the wind seems to pause, listening carefully to the distant creak of ice and the faint breath of sleeping creatures beneath the snow. In this silence, the village prepares for the long northern night. Inside each rounded home, a soft glow warms the air. Not bright, not loud, just a low, steady shimmer, the kind of light that doesn't chase darkness away, but rests beside it peacefully. Families gather in small circles. The warmth of shared bodies and gentle conversation fills the room more than any fire could. A mother adjusts the fur blanket around her child. An elder leans back, eyes half closed, murmuring soft stories that drift through the air like snowflakes carried on a slow breeze. Everything moves at its own unhurried rhythm. There is no need for rushing here. The world outside is vast and frozen, but inside these quiet shelters, surviving the cold is not to resist it, but to embrace stillness, to let the body and mind settle, as calm as the ice field stretching to the horizon. Tonight, a small feast is shared, a simple meal, nothing extravagant. Fresh fish sliced carefully, its cool texture balanced by warm broth, simmering in a carved bowl. Each bite is taken with intention, each sip a grateful acknowledgement that the land has provided enough for another night. And as they eat, the villagers listen to the quiet hum of the wind outside, a sound like distant singing, soft and low, as if the earth itself whispered in ancient lullabies. When the meal ends, the snow people do not rise immediately. They linger, savouring the warmth, their breaths falling into a slow, steady rhythm. Someone begins to hum, a barely audible melody, like a note resting on the edge of silence. The sound spreads, gently weaving between the curved walls, vibrating softly through the air. It carries no words, and needs none. It is the sound of safety, of belonging, of a people who endure the cold together. Outside, the sky deepens into night entirely. Stars begin to appear, some faint, some sharp, glimmering like scattered crystals across a dark velvet sea. Their light touches the snow with a faint silver glow, making the entire landscape shimmer as if lit from within. For the snow people, this is the most peaceful moment of the day. A moment when the world grows quiet enough that one can hear their own heartbeat, slow and steady, in harmony with the land. And so, wrapped in warmth and silence, the village drifts toward rest, trusting the long night to cradle them gently through the cold. As the village settles deeper into the night, a small group of hunters prepares for a quiet journey. This is not a heroic expedition, nor a test of bravery. It is simply a part of life for the snow people, a rhythm as old as the land itself. They move calmly, without hurry, their footsteps muffled by thick layers of snow. The air is crisp, almost delicate, each breath forming a soft cloud that drifts upward and dissolves into the dark. The hunters travel in silence. Words in this cold are unnecessary. The land speaks enough for everyone. The gentle shift of ice beneath its own weight, the faint crackle of frost on distant rocks, the whisper of wind brushing the snow's surface. They carry simple tools, a curved knife made of polished bone, a rope braided from animal sinew, and small lanterns glowing with warm, golden light. These lanterns do not burn brightly. They glow just enough to guide the path, without disturbing the stillness of the night. The snow people understand that the land does not respond well to loud movements or sudden noise. Here, survival is a conversation, a quiet exchange between human and nature. As they walk, the hunters observe everything around them. A small crack in the ice tells a story. A cluster of snowdrifts hints at the wind's direction. Even the silence itself carries meaning, a gentle reminder that the world is listening. After some time, they reach the edge of a frozen inlet. The sea beneath this ice is alive, full of fish and seals, moving slowly in the cold darkness. The hunters kneel, placing their palms gently against the surface. They do not rush. They wait and listen. The ice has a voice, deep, slow, ancient. Through the touch of their hands, the hunters can feel subtle vibrations, the faint stir of movement far below. It is a silent language passed down through generations, a way of sensing the world that cannot be taught in words. Finally, a quiet signal is shared among them. A simple nod. One of the hunters takes the bone knife, presses it gently against the ice, and begins to cut a small opening. The sound is soft, rhythmic, like the slow ticking of a distant clock. When the hole is complete, they sit around it in calm stillness. No impatience, no urgency. The cold has its own timeline, and the snow people honor it. Minutes pass, then more minutes, until at last a faint ripple appears in the dark water below. A fish rises slowly toward the surface, drawn by the warmth and scent of the lantern light. There is no chase, no struggle. The hunter reaches in with practiced hands, steady, gentle, and lifts the fish from the water. A quiet moment of gratitude follows, not spoken aloud, but felt deeply in the chest. This fish will help feed the village. It is enough. Enough for tonight. Enough to keep the snow people strong and warm for one more peaceful night beneath the endless sky. With the same calm pace, the hunters begin their journey back, their lanterns glowing softly, like small suns floating across the snowy plain. The hunters walk back toward the village with quiet satisfaction, their lanterns swaying softly in the still night air. The path home feels lighter than the path out, not because the snow has changed, but because returning with food brings a warm sense of calm, a small reassurance that the village will rest safely tonight. The sky above them deepens into a velvety darkness, yet the stars grow brighter, sharper, as if guiding them gently across the frozen landscape. Each step creates a soft crunch beneath their boots, a steady rhythm that blends seamlessly with the whisper of distant wind. The snow people rarely speak during these walks. There's something sacred about the silence, a feeling that the land is listening, and that their quiet respect is part of the bond they share with it. Instead of words, they communicate through glances, small nods, gentle gestures. This silent language holds them together with effortless ease. As the hunters approach the village, the round, snow-covered homes appear like glowing shells, light slipping through small openings and spreading warmth into the cold night. It is a sight that always soothes the heart, a reminder that even in the harshest places on earth, comfort can be created through care and community. The moment they step inside the first home, a wave of warm air wraps around them. It isn't a heavy heat, just a soft, welcoming warmth that loosens the cold from their faces and hands. The smell of broth simmering slowly mingles with the faint scent of burning oil, creating an atmosphere that feels both peaceful and grounding. Inside, the families look up with gentle smiles. There is no celebration, no loud cheers or clapping, just quiet appreciation, the kind that reaches the heart without a single word spoken. The fish is placed near the warm fire pit, and preparations begin with slow, deliberate movements. Knives are handled with care, hands steady, breathing calm and even. The sound of slicing, the soft, almost musical glide of blade through fresh meat, adds to the soothing hum of the room. A pot is filled with melting snow, its surface catching the warm glow of the lantern. As the water begins to heat, tiny bubbles form along the bottom, rising slowly, each one releasing a soft, delicate whisper into the quiet air. The hunters sit down near the fire, their bodies relaxing into the gentle warmth. Coats are loosened, boots are set to dry, and hands are stretched toward the soft flames to chase away the last traces of cold. Children peek from beneath blankets, their eyes heavy with sleep, yet curious about the returning group. An elder pats the ground beside them, inviting the children to sit close and listen as the hunters softly describe the subtle sounds of the ice and the quiet patience of the sea beneath it. Every voice remains low, each word shaped to blend naturally with the restful atmosphere. Little by little, the room fills with warmth, from the fire, from the meal being prepared, and from the simple presence of people who trust and care for one another. And outside, the night continues its slow, gentle drift, guarding the snow people as they settle into the safety of their shared, quiet world. As the meal finishes cooking, the soft aroma of warm broth fills the rounded home, spreading gently through the cool air like a comforting hand resting on tired shoulders. The snow people gather closer to the fire pit, their bodies forming a loose circle, each person wrapped in a blanket of fur that rustles softly with the slightest movement. This is the hour of quiet stories, the time when the night has fully settled, and the cold outside becomes a silent guardian, watching over the village with calm, steady breaths. The elder of the home, a woman with hair as white as the snow outside, leans forward just slightly. The flame's glow reflects in her eyes, turning them a gentle amber. She speaks softly, her voice drifting into the room like a slow, warm breeze. She begins a story the snow people know well, a tale passed down through countless generations. It is not a story of danger, nor of triumph, but of connection. She tells of the first snow people who followed the winds of the north until they reached the land of endless winter. They learned to read the shapes of the ice, to listen to the quiet tone of the wind, to understand the dim light of the long nights, and from the land they learned patience, gratitude, and resilience. Her words fall gently, one after another, with long, soothing pauses in between. No one interrupts, and no one fidgets. The rhythm of her storytelling is as slow and calming as the distant pulse of the frozen sea. Children curl closer to their parents, their eyes half-lidded, their breaths falling into a synchronized pattern with the soft crackling of the fire. Even the adults allow their shoulders to loosen, their minds drifting toward the comfortable quiet that lies between the elder sentences. As the story continues, the firelight flickers subtly, casting warm patterns across the curved walls. Shadows dance in slow waves, moving like soft ripples on a frozen lake. Every sound within the home is a whisper, the rustle of fur, the gentle clink of a wooden bowl, the faint exhale of someone settling deeper into their seat. The elder's voice softens further, slowing as she reaches the heart of the tale. That the snow people survived because they chose to walk through the cold together. That every storm becomes smaller when shared among many. And that warmth, true warmth, comes not from fire alone, but from the presence of others. Her final words drift into silence, a calm, peaceful quiet that seems to wrap the entire room in an invisible blanket. For a long moment, no one speaks. The only sound is the low hum of the fire and the faint hush of wind outside, brushing gently across the snow-covered homes, like a lullaby sung by the land itself. The elder leans back slowly, her eyes soft and restful, and another wave of calm spreads through the room. A shared sense of comfort, of belonging, of being held together by story and warmth. The snow people prepare to eat, their movements unhurried, their minds quiet, their hearts steady. Night deepens, and peace settles in just a little more. The warm broth is finally ready. Its surface shimmers gently in the firelight, a soft glow rising with delicate curls of steam that drift upward and disappear into the calm air of the room. The snow people do not rush to eat. There is a quiet ritual here, a way of honoring the food and the hands that gathered it. Each bowl is filled slowly, carefully, with movements smooth as drifting snow. The wooden ladle touches the sides of the pot with a faint, comforting tap, a small rhythmic sound that blends seamlessly with the low crackle of the fire. One by one, the villagers accept their bowls with both hands, holding them gently, feeling the warmth seep through the wood and into their palms. For a moment, no one lifts the bowl. They simply breathe in the scent, clean, simple, nourishing, the kind of fragrance that reaches deep into the body and loosens tension you didn't know you were carrying. Finally, the first sip is taken. It is quiet, almost silent, just a soft intake of breath as warmth spreads through the chest, down the arms, into the stomach. A heat that isn't sharp or overwhelming, just steady, grounding, a gentle reminder that even in a land of ice, warmth can bloom softly from within. The children sip slowly, their eyes growing heavier with each swallow. The steam fogs lightly against their cheeks, making them glow with a soft, rosy warmth. Parents tilt their bowls, breathing in the gentle comfort before letting each mouthful settle calmly across their tongue. No one speaks loudly. Voices stay low and smooth, flowing like warm air across the quiet room. Occasionally, someone murmurs a soft thank you to the hunters, or to the land, or simply to the moment itself. With their hunger eased, their bodies soften, melting deeper into the comfort of the furs beneath them. The fire flickers slowly, its light steady and hypnotic. The room feels fuller now, not crowded but connected. Threads of warmth weaving from one person to the next. After the last of the broth is finished, the bowls are set aside quietly, stacked carefully, so the sound doesn't disturb the peaceful rhythm of the night. The elder motions gently for the lanterns to be dimmed. Their light fades gradually, like stars drifting behind thin clouds, until only a soft golden glow remains. The snow people begin to stretch out beneath thick blankets of fur. Some curl close to loved ones. Others lie quietly facing the curved walls, watching the firelight slide across the snow-packed surface. Breathing slows, thoughts soften, even the smallest sounds. A shifting blanket, the crack of a cooling bowl, a soft sigh of contentment, become part of the calming harmony of the room. Outside, the wind passes lightly along the walls, its voice gentle and distant, like a lullaby sung by the endless winter night. Inside, warmth settles completely. Bodies relax, eyes grow heavy. The village sinks deeper into the slow, peaceful embrace of a night shared in comfort and quiet unity. As the final embers of the fire glow softly, a deep stillness settles over the snow people's home. The air feels warm and quiet, as if the entire world has exhaled at once, letting every remaining worry drift away, like snow carried on a slow drifting breeze. The night has reached its calmest hour. One by one, the villagers make small adjustments. A blanket pulled over a shoulder, a child nestled just a little closer to a parent, a quiet sigh released into the dim, golden light. The room's warmth wraps around them like a gentle cocoon, closing out the cold and silence of the vast Arctic beyond. Breathing deepens, slows, and finds a steady rhythm, the shared rhythm of a community moving together toward rest. Outside, the northern sky stretches endlessly, a wide canvas of soft darkness. A few bright stars shimmer through thin curtains of drifting icy mist, each one glowing like a tiny beacon of peace. Far on the horizon, a faint pale is a gentle signal, a quiet reminder that even in the deepest cold, there is beauty waiting just beyond the edge of night. Inside the home, the elder watches over the settling room. Her eyes are soft, her breathing calm, her presence steady and grounding. With a motion as gentle as a falling snowflake, she lowers the lantern light even more, until only the faintest glow remains, just enough to see the curve of each resting form. She whispers a final blessing, a tradition passed down for generations, a soft wish for warmth, for safety, for peaceful dreams carried by the quiet winter night. Her voice is low and smooth, no louder than the sound of a sleeping breath. Little by little, sleep begins to claim the room. Children drift first, their faces serene, their bodies curled into comfortable shapes beneath thick blankets of fur. Adults follow soon after, their minds slowing, their muscles relaxing completely as the warmth seeps into every limb. The fire dims further, its soft glow now barely a glimmer, painting faint amber shapes across the curved walls. Every sound has softened into a tender harmony. A slow breath, a shifting blanket, the distant sigh of snow settling outside. All of it blends together into a single, peaceful lullaby. And outside, the northern lights rise at last, silent ribbons of green and pale blue dancing gently across the sky. They move without urgency, flowing slowly like dream thoughts, twisting, expanding, fading, returning. A quiet show meant only for those who sleep beneath the endless winter. Their glow touches the snow-covered homes, casting a soft shimmer over the village, a blessing of light upon a resting world. Inside, the snow people sleep, wrapped in warmth, surrounded by calm, held by a night older than memory. And you too may drift now, slowly, gently, into the same peaceful northern dream, where the cold is quiet, the warmth is steady, and the night carries you with soft, unbroken care. The night deepens even further over the land of the snow people, quiet, calm, untouched. The aurora continues its slow dance across the heavens, painting soft threads of pale green and blue that glide gently across the sky like strokes from a silent brush. The whole village sleeps now, and yet there is something almost alive in the stillness, a quiet presence, a comforting pulse that moves through the world with steady calm. It comes from the land itself. The snow, packed thick around the homes, acts like a blanket for the entire community, holding in warmth, softening every sound, keeping the night gentle and deep. No footsteps, no voices, only the slow settling of ice and the far-off hum of the wind moving across distant ridges. Inside the homes the air is warm and rich with quiet. A few embers glow softly in the fire pits, their light faint but steady, like the last thoughts of someone drifting into sleep. The rounded walls, smooth and pale, catch that faint glow and hold it delicately, making the space feel as if it's breathing in slow, peaceful waves. Everyone is resting, and yet the night continues to watch over them with a comforting ancient patience. The elder, still half awake, feels this presence. She doesn't need to look outside to know the northern lights are moving, or that the wind has softened. She has lived through countless winters, and she has learned their language. A quiet language, spoken through light and cold and silence. She closes her eyes again, knowing the village is safe, feeling the warmth of her people around her, their slow breaths, their peaceful bodies curled beneath thick blankets. The memories of the day drift through her mind, soft and light. The shared meal, the gentle stories, the warmth of companionship that carries them through the coldest nights. Beyond the village, the world stretches into endless white, fields of snow without footprints, ice plains untouched by movement. But even out there, the night seems protective, wrapping the land in a softness that only the far north can create. And as the aurora sways, slow and graceful, the lights cast a shimmering glow that reaches all the way to the village. A glow that says, "Rest now. The world is quiet. You are safe." Hours pass like moments. The cold outside loses its edge. The silence grows deeper, more tender, carrying with it a sense of care that fills even the darkest corners of the night. Eventually, the first hint of dawn begins to whisper along the horizon. Not bright, not sharp, just a faint grey light touching the sky with the gentlest hand. The snow people remain asleep, held in rest as the world prepares for another day. And you may let your thoughts drift as well, letting the calm of their world settle softly around you. The night is still here, the warmth is still here, and you are welcome to linger in this quiet northern dream for as long as you wish. Morning in the land of the snow. People does not arrive quickly. It doesn't burst through the sky the way it does in warmer places. Here, dawn unfolds like a whisper, a slow, careful softening of the darkness that feels almost like the night exhaling its final breath. The first light begins as nothing more than a faint suggestion, a pale grey shimmer spreading gently along the edge of the horizon. It barely touches the snow at first, resting lightly on the endless white fields, as if testing the cold before settling in. Inside the rounded snow homes, the change is subtle, a slightly lighter shade on the curved walls, a quiet glow softly replacing the last traces of firelight, a soft shift in the air, warm and comforting, as if the world is waking very slowly, so as not to disturb those still sleeping. The snow people remain wrapped in their blankets, their breath soft and steady, their bodies nestled in gentle warmth. Sleep holds them carefully, and morning is in no hurry to take them from it. The elder stirs first. Her years have taught her the rhythm of this place. When the wind will rise, when the sun will hide, when the cold will deepen, and when the light will return in small, tender waves. She lifts her head slowly, feeling the familiar comfort of the warm air in the home, the subtle crackle of cooling embers, and the soft weight of the fur blanket across her shoulders. She listens, not to noise, for there is almost none, but to the absence of noise, the peaceful stillness that carries the promise of a gentle day. With careful movements, she adjusts a blanket that has slipped from a child's shoulder, tucking it back with a light touch. The child sighs softly in their sleep, curling deeper into warmth, safe and untroubled. The elder rises quietly, her steps slow, light, barely disturbing the soft, packed snow beneath her feet. She tends to the embers of the fire, coaxing a low, warm glow back into the center of the room. Not to wake anyone, but to greet the day with gentleness. Outside, the wind moves across the village in a calm, unhurried flow. Its voice is softer this morning, like a friend whispering from a distance. It brushes the walls of each home with care, leaving delicate patterns on the surface. Thin ripples shaped by the passing breeze. Gradually, a few others begin to stir. Soft rustles, a quiet inhale, a slow stretch beneath a heavy blanket. These tiny sounds fill the space with a sense of newness, yet without disturbing the calm. No one rushes to rise. Mornings in the north are slow by nature, and the snow people honor that slowness, gently, peacefully, as the warmth of the room eases the transition from dreams to waking life. The elder prepares warm broth with the same patient rhythm she uses for everything. The scent spreads softly through the home, and the waking villagers breathe it in with quiet gratitude. Outside, the pale morning light expands just a little more, greeting the village with a soft touch, promising a calm, steady day. And inside, the snow people begin to wake to the gentle comfort of a new northern morning. The gentle scent of warm broth drifts through the rounded home, spreading slowly, filling the air with a comforting richness that eases the villagers into their morning. One by one, eyes begin to flutter open, not abruptly, but with a soft, natural rhythm, as though waking is simply the next breath in a long, calm sequence. The snow people rise in stages. No one moves quickly, and no one feels any need to. In this world, the pace of life follows the land itself, slow, patient, quietly deliberate. A young mother stretches beneath her blanket, her movements gentle and unhurried. Her child stirs beside her, blinking sleepily, still wrapped in warmth. Before speaking, the mother places a soft hand on the child's back, letting them feel her warmth, her presence, her calm. Nearby, a hunter sits up, rolling his shoulders in slow, steady motions. He runs a hand over the fur lining of his clothing, feeling the softness between his fingers. A small, grounding ritual that reminds him of safety, of home, of the quiet strength of the village. The elder hands out warm bowls of broth, each movement smooth and practiced. She doesn't need to call out names or direct anyone. Everyone knows where to sit, where to reach, how to share the warmth without disturbing the peace. The broth warms them from within bit by bit, sending soft waves of comfort through their arms, their chest, their sleepy minds. No words are needed while they drink. The gentle crackle of the rekindled fire fills the silence with a soothing rhythm, steady as a heartbeat. Once the meal is finished, the morning routines begin. A few villagers step outside, pulling thick coats around themselves as they feel the cool bite of the air. The snow beneath their feet gives a soft, cushion-like crunch, a pleasant, muted sound that blends with the slow wind moving across the plains. They check the conditions of the homes, brushing loose snow from the tops, connecting small cracks with fresh patches of ice, strengthening the walls with careful, almost meditative movements. Each action is part of a shared rhythm, a simple dance with the land that they have performed countless times. Others remain inside, tidying the furs, refilling oil lamps, reorganizing small tools so that everything rests exactly where it belongs. There is comfort in these quiet tasks, a reassurance that life continues, one soft moment at a time. Children play in their own gentle way, drawing shapes in the snow on the floor with the tips of their fingers, creating little trails and patterns that disappear as quickly as they form. Their laughter is soft, like bells heard through thick winter air. Never loud, never sharp, just a little brighter than silence. The day settles smoothly into motion, carrying the snow people forward with a calm flow that matches the land around them. Nothing hurried, nothing forced, only the quiet strength of simple routines performed with patience and unity. Outside, the pale morning light spreads slowly across the village, touching each home with a gentle hand, as if blessing them with another peaceful day. As the morning settles fully over the village, the snow people ease into the quiet work of the day. tasks done not with urgency, but with steady intention, each action woven into the gentle rhythm that holds their world together. Outside, the light remains soft and pale. Even at its brightest, the sun here moves like a shy companion, never rushing, never glaring, just brushing the snow with a muted glow that sparkles faintly in the cold air. A group of villagers walks toward a cluster of storage shelters, rounded and carefully built, their walls thick with packed snow. Inside these shelters, they keep dried fish, carved tools, bundles of fur. Simple things, but each essential to survival in the endless winter. The villagers move slowly as they sort through the supplies. A careful inventory is taken, not in writing, but in memory. Quiet observations shared between them with small nods and murmured agreement. They handle everything with calm hands, appreciating the effort that went into gathering each item. Back in the center of the village, a hunter begins to mend a fishing spear. He sits on a low block of packed snow, the spear laid across his knees. His movements are deliberate, his fingers steady as he checks the bone point, tests the strength of the bindings, and smooths out imperfections with gentle strokes. The soft scraping sound blends with the wind, a faint back and forth rhythm that feels almost like a soothing lullaby. Nearby, two women prepare animal skins for clothing. They work in comfortable silence, stretching the hides across wooden frames, scraping them with polished stones until the texture becomes soft and pliable. The sound is subtle, a slow, repetitive brushing that brings a sense of calm to the moment. Their breaths mist gently in the cool air, rising in small clouds that dissolve as quickly as they appear. Children help in small ways, carrying bundles of snow to patch cracks in the outer walls, or gathering small sticks for the fire. Tasks light enough for their small hands, yet important enough to make them feel part of the village's quiet strength. Inside the homes, others tend to the hearths. They melt fresh snow for drinking water, the surface of the pot shimmering as tiny droplets roll down the sides. Occasionally, someone stirs a pot of warming broth, the wooden spoon gliding in gentle circles that create soft, quiet ripples. Everywhere, the work of the day continues with patience. Nothing is hurried. Nothing is wasted. The snow people understand that life in this land is shaped by balance, that even the smallest task, done with care, becomes part of the harmony that keeps the village thriving. And throughout the day, the wind remains gentle, its voice softer than usual, sliding over the snow like a whispered promise of continued peace. By midday, the tasks begin to slow, their edges softening as the village prepares for the calm stretch of afternoon rest. The snow people move back toward their homes, their footsteps quiet, their hearts steady, carrying with them the quiet satisfaction of a morning well lived. By midday, the Arctic light has reached its quiet peak. Not bright, not overwhelming, but a soft, silvery glow that rests gently across the village, like a thin blanket of calm. The snow people ease into the slower rhythm of the afternoon, a time meant for resting the body, softening the mind, and letting the land breathe with them in long, steady cycles. Inside the rounded homes, warmth lingers from the morning fires. The air carries a faint aroma of simmered broth and dried herbs stored carefully from seasons long past. Fur blankets lie open and inviting, their soft textures waiting to cradle tired limbs. A few villagers settle into quiet corners, stretching out fully for the first time since sunrise. Their bodies relax with visible relief, the the weight of heavy coats slipping away, their breathing deepening into slow, calm waves. The elder sits near the fire pit, her hands resting gently on her lap, eyes half closed. She doesn't sleep, but she drifts, floating between thought and silence, holding space for those around her with a presence that feels as warm as the flames. In another corner, a pair of hunters lie on their backs, arms folded beneath their heads, staring up at the curved ceiling. The faint patterns of light cast by the fire shift slowly across the walls, creating gentle waves and soft, glowing shapes that seem to move with the rhythm of their breaths. No one speaks, and no one needs to. Afternoons in this village are sacred, a time when the cold outside grows still, when the land itself invites quiet reflection, and when the snow people reconnect with the slow, peaceful center of their lives. Occasionally, the wind sweeps gently against the outer wall of the home, a soft, brushing sound that makes the structure seem alive, as though it inhales and exhales along with them. The snow settles in tiny shifts, creating faint crackles that rise and fade like whispers. A child curls up beside their parent, their small hand tucked into the soft fur blanket, their eyelids drooping halfway, as the warmth of the room lulls them toward a light, drifting sleep. A gentle hum begins, a quiet tune the snow people often use to soothe their children. It's little more than a low vibration, a soft thread of sound woven into the peaceful air. The hum spreads like a ripple through the room. Not every person joins it aloud, but everyone feels its presence. A shared calm, a shared comfort, a shared breath. Outside, the sky turns a deeper shade of silver, its glow stretching across the snow in long, delicate beams. The landscape seems frozen in time, as if holding perfectly still, so that the village may rest without worry. And the snow people rest. Their bodies soften, their minds slow, their spirits settle into the warmth of the afternoon's gentle embrace. In this moment, nothing is demanded, nothing is rushed, only the quiet, the warmth, and the steady peace of life in the endless winter. As the afternoon drifts onward, the snow people begin to stir once more. Not abruptly, not with urgency, but with the gentle pacing that defines their life in the quiet north. The warmth inside the home has settled deeply into every blanket, every fur lining, every corner of the room. The air feels soft against the skin, melting any lingering tension left from the morning's work. A hunter rises first, slowly pulling himself upright, stretching his arms with a deep, steady breath. The movement is unhurried, like a slow wave rolling across calm water. He rolls his shoulders, loosening the last knots of rest, and lets out a long, quiet exhale that blends seamlessly with the peaceful silence around him. A few others follow, sitting up gradually, the sound of shifting blankets soft and soothing. The fire still glows faintly in the center of the room, its embers warm and steady, casting a golden hue that paints gentle shapes on the curved walls. The elder opens her eyes fully, her expression serene. She senses the subtle shift, the moment when the village begins its slow transition from rest to afternoon activity. There is no need for words. The rhythm is understood by all. One by one, villagers stand, wrap themselves in coats, and move toward the entrance. Their steps are quiet, soft thumps on the packed snow floor, followed by a faint rustle as the door covering is lifted aside. Outside, the cold air greets them gently. It is crisp, light, and strangely refreshing, like a cool breath drawn in after waking from a dream. The sky has shifted, muted shade of pale blue, its soft glow stretching across the endless white fields. Snow underfoot compresses with a delicate crunch, a sound that is almost musical in its softness. The villagers breathe in the cold air deeply, letting it fill their lungs with a quiet, invigorating clarity. A pair of hunters walk together toward the distant ice ridge, but not for a long journey, only to observe the conditions, listen to the subtle language of the wind, and ensure that tomorrow's tasks align with the land's quiet intentions. Their footsteps leave gentle impressions, soft, rounded marks that trail behind them in a peaceful line. The wind moves lightly across the surface, sweeping loose snow in thin, whispering patterns that drift around their boots. Back near the homes, a small group begins the task of gathering snow for melting and drinking. They scoop it into carved wooden containers, their movements slow and rhythmic. The snow itself makes almost no sound, a faint, soft brushing as it settles into each container. Inside, others move about quietly, tidying the space with slow, thoughtful motions. Blankets are folded, lantern wicks are trimmed, and tools are placed gently back into their usual spots. Children wander outside as well, bundled tightly in warm furs. They kneel near the snow, drawing shapes and trails with their mittens, their laughter soft and light, never loud, never sharp, just small bursts of joy carried softly on the cold afternoon air. All around the village, the day continues with a delicate harmony, each person contributing in quiet ways to the flow of life in the endless winter. Nothing rushed, nothing forced, only the soft footsteps in the snow, the gentle presence of the land, and the peaceful unity of the snow people. As the long afternoon begins to fade, the light over the Arctic softens once more, shifting from pale blue to a muted grey that signals the quiet return of night. The snow people gather close to their homes, finishing their gentle tasks with the same calm, measured motions that shaped the day. A hunter brushes snow from his boots. A mother pulls her child's coat tighter before guiding them toward the warm doorway. An elder pauses to feel the wind, her eyes closing for a moment as she reads its soft, familiar touch. The land speaks quietly now. A faint murmur in the cold air, a whisper sliding over the smooth fields of snow. It carries no warning, no urgency, only the steady rhythm of a world that has known calm for countless generations. Inside the rounded homes, warmth blooms gently once more. A small fire is rekindled, its embers glowing in soft oranges and deep reds, casting a comforting light that warms the fur blankets and fills the curved walls with a sense of serene belonging. Families settle in again, their bodies relaxing into the familiar softness, their movements slow and unhurried. Children press close to their parents, their small hands tucked into the warm folds of the blankets. Elders take their places near the fire, breathing deeply, their presence grounding the room like roots beneath the snow. Outside, the first stars appear, tiny lights glimmering in the vast northern sky. Then, as if the heavens feel the village settling into rest, a gentle ribbon of green light unfurls across the darkness. The northern lights rise slowly, moving with the steady grace of a lullaby written in color. Inside, the snow people watch in quiet awe through small openings in their homes. No one speaks. No one needs to. The lights drift and sway, painting the sky in soft arcs of green and pale blue, casting a faint shimmer across the snow that makes the entire world look as though it is glowing from within. The elder hums a final, gentle tune, old, familiar, a melody shaped by winter itself. It drifts through the room like warm breath on cold air, wrapping each person in a soft, tender calm. One by one, their eyes grow heavy. Blankets rise and fall with slow breaths. The fire crackles quietly, its glow beginning to dim as the room sinks deeper into the arms of night. And outside, the aurora continues to dance, watching over the village with ancient, silent care. This night will hold them, as countless nights have held them before, in warmth, in stillness, in a peace born from unity and shaped by the quiet wisdom of the land. The snow people sleep now, safe beneath the endless sky, resting in harmony with the winter that surrounds them, and the world, in its deep, gentle silence, rests with them.